Hello, my name is Mubarak Wasim, and welcome to another episode of Comment Reply from Hedonic Design. This is episode 2, and in today's episode, we are going to look at a question from Dalen240, who asks, I want to make a collage of photos, and I know that you need to put each photo onto its own layer. How do you put each photo on its own layer, and how do you blend the edges of the photos so that it looks like they merge or flow into each other? That's another common use of Photoshop, and if I just go on view, screen mode, standard screen mode, I can see my other images here. I am going to show you a way to do this. I've got 3 images here, one of the Eiffel Tower, one of the London Eye, and one of the Colosseum in Rome. And I'm going to use these images to create a collage of images, as you say. The way to create each image on its own, if I show you, is just click File, New, create anything you want, call it whatever, and then just paste your image on top, Control V. If you copy an image from the internet, right click, copy. Obviously make sure you have permission to do so. I went on Flickr and used images that were in the Creative Commons. If you find your images, or obviously any photos that you've got, if you've got photos on your own hard drive, just drag them into Photoshop. Just drag and drop them into Photoshop and they should open. Otherwise, File, Open, and choose your image, or File, Place, although that will place the image inside the document. So here's the best way to do them. Open them all up as separate documents and then create a new document. So Control N, Command N if you're on a Mac, or File, New. I'm going to call this Collage. And I'm going to make the width 1500 and the height 850. No real reason why. I'm going to make the background contents transparent, and I think that should be enough. Make sure the resolution, if it's for web, is set to 72, but if you want to print something out, set the color mode to CMYK and the resolution to 300 pixels per inch, although you'll see that your image jumps up in size from about 1 megabyte to about 4. So I'll put it back onto RGB, and oh no, it's only not that much bigger actually. It's 3.65 megabytes, but you would expect that with a document of 1500 pixel size. Anyway, we will create our little scene here. So as expected, we have a transparent document. I'm just going to close this one, and we'll go back into each of our layers, and I'll right click here on the not on the picture, sorry, but right click not on the name and duplicate layer, and then you duplicate it as whatever you want. I'll call it Eiffel Tower, and I will put it in Collage, the document I just set up. And as you can see, the Eiffel Tower gets placed in there. I will put this one in there as well. I should really call it the Colosseum, but I'll call it Rome. And here's the London Eye, and again, duplicate layer. Or I think, if I remember correctly, you can go to Layer, duplicate layer, same thing, but you don't press Control J. That's just a shortcut for duplicating a layer within the document, as you can see. So I'll delete that by dragging it to the bin, and when the bin icon gets hovered over like so, let go of the mouse. So right click, duplicate layer, into Collage as I. Now if I go into my collage, I should have 3 layers as well as a background layer. I can delete the background layer now by again dragging it. And now I've got my 3 layers, so now I'm going to set up my collage or my composition. So the way I'm going to set this up is quite simple. I'm going to put the Eiffel Tower on top, and because that image is quite central, it's taken in the middle of the Eiffel Tower, I'm going to put that in the middle. I'm going to scale that down by hitting Control T, Command T, and just dragging it so it fits nicely within our document. Again, I'm not going to try and be massively precise with this. There we go, that looks fine. And now the image of the Colosseum, I'm going to select it. At the moment, I can't see it. Well, I can see it there, but if, for example, the London Eye was there and the Colosseum was there and the Colosseum was obscured and I couldn't select it, you can just select the layer and then drag it, or you can right click here and click Rome, or you right click here, and you've got all the layers that are in the back, that are behind the mouse cursor. So click Rome. Now Rome is selected. Drag it out here, and I'm going to scale that down. And the reason why I'm going to put that here is because that image shows the left-hand side of the Colosseum, so it's quite nice to put that image here. So we have the building on the right, the building on the left, and the building in the middle. The London Eye, then, I'm going to move, and the problem though with the London Eye is that it's facing the wrong way, so I can just hit Control-T, Command-T, and go up to here, to where it says width 100%, and just put in minus 100%. And that will just flip the image around, and so basically it's exactly the same as if I just drag this layer to the top. I'll show you what it's the same as. It's the same as doing this and dragging it all the way and flipping it over, except you do it to the exact same proportions that it was before. And I'm going to increase the size of the London Eye image and put it about here, and put it behind the Eiffel Tower. So now you can see I have like a nice monument set up. Sorry, a nice collage of monuments set up. Just some simple design tips. I'm going to try and keep them all at the same sort of level. So the focus of the image will be at the same height. So roughly, if I drag a ruler down, roughly here is where I want to keep the focus of the image, on this blue line. I'm not going to be using layer masks. Layer masks are probably the best things to do. And if you go to layer mask, reveal all, you can create a layer mask, but that's something that's not really for this tutorial. I'm going to first of all make each of these layers black and white, and then I'm going to quickly do some quick image adjustments on them, because as you can see these images are very different. So I want to choose a middle ground, and the middle ground is probably the Eiffel Tower, because that's a darker grey than the Colosseum, but a lighter grey than the London Eye. So I'll take the London Eye and go to Image, Adjustments, Brightness and Contrast, and I'll turn up the brightness and turn the contrast down a little bit, turn up the brightness a bit more. You don't want to turn it up obviously to that soft level, because that'll just give you a nasty picture. You just want to turn it up a little bit. In fact, that probably is too much. Adjustments, Brightness, Contrast, turn down the contrast, turn up the brightness. And with Rome, I'm going to do the complete opposite. I'm going to turn up the contrast and turn the brightness down. And you can see already we're getting a nice blend here. Now I'm going to just drag the Rome picture a little bit more in. And now I'm going to also actually drag the London Eye picture a little bit more in. And now I'm going to do the layer mask. Sorry, not the layer mask. Now I'm going to do the selection, so refine edge, feather it about 17 pixels, delete a couple of times, go to this side, delete a couple of times, and you can see it creates a nice edge here. In fact, I could probably make that edge a bit nicer by selecting a bigger area, refine edge, and feathering it by quite a lot more. Oh, see, that the problem is though that creates an area of transparency, which we can fix by just dragging the Rome layer a bit more forward, which I guess is probably the best thing to do. And again, on the London Eye, I'm going to try and make that a bit more well blended in. So refine edge, probably about 38 pixels. Delete a couple of times until it's nicely blended in, and then drag the London Eye a bit closer. So here, now I have my basic collage. There are a few things that I could do to it. So for example, I could create a new layer, fill it with, I don't know, a blue, a nice blue like that. And then take the layer mode here to colour. So it colours everything in a nice blue tinge. And then I could say, add a text layer. What font should I use? There we go. In fact, I'll change the font to change the font to... I know, I'll just change the font to Ballpark. It's a nice font. Wish you were here. Increase the font size. And then to make the font stand out, because we've got blue, I could put it in something like red, yellow, orange, green looks nice. So, but a nice kind of yellowy green. Up here, wish you were here. And just to make the text stand out a bit more, sorry, double click the space in between where the W here starts in the text, and I get the layer styles. Sorry, I can add a drop shadow. Let's make it nice, gaudy. There we go. Increase the opacity of that, make it overlay, no. Darken, there we go. Gradient overlay, in fact I'll put a nice green overlay on it, just to make it look nice. So I'm just, really right now I'm just sort of adding finishing touches. I've gone past what the actual tutorial asked, but there we go. There is a very simple and very easy to do collage of different images, and what we've done is put our different images in a layer, standardize them all by using brightness and contrast and making them all black and white, adding a nice blue tinge, and then adding finally our text layer saying wish you were here. So from quite a boring image of the Eiffel Tower on its own, an image of the London Eye, an image of Rome, we've actually gone from something to that to something nice, dramatic even. So I hope you've liked this tutorial. As I say, there are loads of things you can do with this tutorial. Don't just take the tutorial as it is. Go and experiment with it and choose your own things. That you can add gradients to your layer, and make sure you select this to color. Obviously, if you set it to normal, it will just do that. So you want to set the layer to color. And there's loads and loads of things you can do. You can create a nice sepia tone effect. You could do all number of things. You could even use one of the built-in Photoshop. There we go. Built-in Photoshop gradients to create something a bit more colourful. But no, we won't do that. So yes, thank you very much for watching this tutorial. I would greatly appreciate it if you could rate the video, like, comment, subscribe. As I say, this is another video that is just me replying to a question that I've had. So if you send the questions in, they will be answered. So thank you very much for sending the question in, Mr. Dalen240. Thank you very much for sending the question in, and I hope this answers your question. So I'll see you next time. Make sure you send in all your questions. Bye.